Tuesday morning. Be strong and of good courage. Be not frightened, neither be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Through these timely Bible verses from Joshua chapter 1 verse 9, God has often strengthened me and given me courage to face challenges. God speaks these encouraging words to Joshua, who as Moses' successor is just on the threshold of leading God's people finally over the Jordan River and into the promised land of Canaan. Yes, Canaan is a land filled with milk and honey, but it is also inhabited by scary giants and enemy peoples who are strong. Do read the story for yourself in Numbers chapters 13 and 14. Faced with so many obstacles, Caleb courageously reminds his people that God is greater than their worst fears. We can do this, Caleb tells his people. Well, this Tuesday I'm focusing on the word courage, which comes from the Latin word for heart, cor, C-O-R. When we're afraid, stressed out and overwhelmed, we lose heart. We become heartbroken. We become discouraged. Vladimir Putin's cruel further invasion of Ukraine and the frequent environmental disasters brought on by climate change can make us lose courage and give in to helpless fear, instead of praying to our God, speaking up and acting where we can. That is why on Sunday, an interfaith group of around 50 people met at St. Mary's to strengthen our resolve and pray our hearts out for our devastated Ukrainian brothers and sisters. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is an inspiring example of courage and steadfastness as his country faces overwhelming odds. Many of Zelensky's Jewish family died in the Nazi Holocaust, so he and his family are no stranger to suffering. And yet, he is staying put in the capital, Kyiv, and speaking out. A recent Time magazine article showed the Ukrainian president in military fatigues, joining his troops in the trenches before the invasion. Zelensky's choice to stay in Kyiv was an act of courage which roused the United States and its allies to impose unprecedented sanctions on Russia, crashing the ruble. We are all here, Zelensky declared in a video from the capital after the invasion happened. His life has been threatened by a Russian hit team, and his family is Russian enemy number 2, which is terrifying. And yet, this former comedian turned president's courage is inspiring his compatriots and galvanizing democracies around the world to stand up, to speak out and resist tyranny. Friends, there is strength in numbers as we stick together as people of faith and remember that Jesus' power is accessed wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in his name. I encourage you, therefore, to attend our Sunday in-person services at 8 and 10. And please do come to the Wednesday Lenten groups for children, youth and adults, which start tomorrow, March the 9th, from 7 to 8 p.m. and continue for 3 weeks. The Christian story of which we are a part is that God has ultimately conquered Satan, sin, evil and death for all time, for all on the cross, through the resurrection of Jesus Christ. We are not alone in this world of suffering, and we are going to a much better place in the end if the worst comes to the worst. So I wonder, what tiny steps of courage is God inviting you to take? And may we each meditate this week on Joshua 1:9 and give what we can to support the Ukrainians in their heroic fight for freedom. Be strong and of good courage, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Amen.